So I'm sure there's a lot of people that are gonna be here to say I told you so. But I knew it wouldn't last that long. I knew it wouldn't possibly last that long before John would get mad at me and do something like this. Uh, it was inevitable, if you ask me. I don't even know what he's mad at. A bunch of people started texting me last night. I guess Nasty Meal sent them over a bunch of clips, isolated a bunch of stuff that me and Chauncey talked about that I don't even remember what we said, to be honest with you. I know it doesn't take much with him. He always claims that he's nice, and then, well, it's funny because people tried to warn me. He's not a nice guy. He's not a nice guy, and I've seen both sides of him, and I knew at some point he's going to, like, I'm just not going to follow anybody's playbook. And if I see something and I say something that's true, and you don't like it, and you throw a fit about it, it's really not on me. I don't know how I scumbagged anybody. I didn't stiff him out of money. I didn't say anything bad about him, but I just made a matter of fact comment. I wanted to just come on here real quick. It's Friday, and I just want to I don't want people to think that I'm like running from him or anything like that. Thank you, Chauncey. Love you too. John is a drunk. That's quite possible. He doesn't. If it's, I think it's just apparent that there's something wrong, and he just doesn't have a problem turning on it. Like, if I would never turn on him, and I didn't turn on him. I don't know what he considers a scumbag, and he had that other minion at his shoulder, just reeling him in. From what I understand, just you're not going to get much of a bash out of me, everybody. I'm sorry. I don't think I have to do any bashing. I don't watch his show, or the times I watched his show. You know, um, it's been just a whole bunch of meanness, and I don't understand what the whole attraction is to being mean. And I guess maybe some people like to watch somebody just make fun of other people and bash them for no reason. You're not going to get much out of me. I run my own game. I run my own show, and I guess I'm not mad at Nasty Meal. At least that Nasty Meal was honest about uh, whatchamacallit. Nasty Meal would be honest. He was honest about he or that person dropped off or sent it over to John and apologized because didn't realize that John was going to get that way. Whether if that was true or not, at least I appreciate the honesty about the whole entire situation. Nasty Neil Gillo owes no apologies. Thank you very much. Um, I see people mention the kid thing. I'm not gonna go down the kid thing. And shoulders above his. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's kind words. I think people were waiting for me to pick a side. I'm not even gonna say I picked this. I'm picking a side, and I just wanted to address that. I know what he said, and it's just awful over something I said. Chauncey, like there's people that well, he asked me to get Mancow on the show, and Mancow did a little research, and Mancow doesn't want to do his show because how did I screw John over? I just know seriously. I don't. I'm clueless to why the man's mad at me. So he Nasty Meal. I don't know. You guys got such confusing names. I apologize if I get anybody's name wrong. And the fact that I'm dyslexic and I'm trying to focus on everything. Uh, I'm not talking about anybody's children. People are talking about it on the comments, and I'm not going to address whether or not he has a situation going on because I don't know. Here's the deal. I guess from what I understand, he doesn't know the whole story, but he chose to make up his own narrative about what happened. I guess I don't know. I don't remember. Like I do so much of this shit all the time. My life is fantastic, and I'm not broke. I'm actually doing well. Bills are paid, and I have a roof over my head. Rent is paid, and I am actively making money. Doing what I'm doing right now, sitting here talking to you fine people. So if you think I'm going to come out here and just say some shit about John, but like there's people like that won't do his show, like Tim Sabian won't, you know, Tim Sabian is like would never do his show. Tim Sabian's going to be on my show. He's just in the middle of doing some business transactions, Billy West wouldn't do his show. Mancow won't do his show. There's people that know, like Angie, I don't think he would do his show. So there's people that see what he's doing and how mean he gets, and it's a path of destruction no one wants to be a part of. And how many times, like, he didn't have a guest, and I filled in just so, I can make my landlord. What landlord? You want my landlord? He's right outside. So my rent is paid. Have to rely on coming in here for my emotional support. I got people that are so awesome to me. It's fucking ridiculous, and I love and care about them. I got friends going back to first grade, and I don't have any friends that don't talk to me anymore. And I just think that's always the case. There's always somebody that John is not talking to. He's mad at somebody constantly. And I had another friend like that, and that friend was an extreme narcissist. The friend that doesn't talk to everybody all the time. Not saying John is that person, but I think it pretty much is in the same category, because like he's always mad at somebody because he doesn't think he's ever wrong, and that's a narcissist. And if they are wrong, they come at you and make you feel like you did something wrong. I've taken a lot of abuse over John for the past like 30 years. On a day-to-day basis. When I worked with him in the show, he just basically constantly was on my ass about something stupid, making fun, pulling a prank and stuff like that. And like I said in the past, I thought I was like, I didn't have an older brother, and I thought John was like an older brother, but probably not a good older brother. And then every time he did something for me, he had to make me feel like I owed him something. And if you're a true friend and you do something for somebody, you don't ever feel that you need to get something back because you do it because you're a good person or you're a good friend. So I'm not here crying or complaining, but I'm not going to not go and not address this because that's not who I am, but I'm not going to give him any, I'm not. So I don't hate Beer Jerry, Vegas Beer Jerry. I have no problems with him. I just didn't know that everybody else had a problem with him. He did nothing wrong, and he did nothing wrong to me. But I didn't realize what he did, doxing wise and everything like that. So Jerry, I have no problem with you, buddy. You're involved in a very dangerous area that seems like nobody wants to deal with. And I understand that he does appreciate you, I will tell you that, but I just want to let you know. There we go. Shane M., it might be time to realize Stuttering John is a really bad person. This is the reason so many people hate him and fuck with him. He deserves it. Oh, I think that was part of my answer the last time with Chauncey, who just came in. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated by people like John. Yeah, no, I understand that. Chauncey came in, he's listening. Chauncey, 1,000% John has type 2 diabetes. Nobody drinks that much every hour. No, I leave my drinking to myself. I'm not going to say that I don't drink. I'm not going to be a hypocrite about it. Okay, listen, I appreciate everybody. I thank you for tuning in. I know that's not much of a big deal in this world because I'm sure you guys have a lot more followers than I do, but I just hit 4,000 on YouTube, which is great. I was given a task when I came out here, and it was to show me that you can monetize your channel again, because I was monetized at some point. And it's a funny thing that people make it out like you're joining the Dabble Force. I didn't pay any dues to do this. I'm doing my show just like I always did my show, and just that there's a whole new group of people that have spawned from the hatred of Stuttering John that all gathered, and I don't steal your information. Voltaire, you're funny and actually know how to interview people. Stuttering John saw how good your show is and got jealous, so he tried to sabotage you. Stuttering John is a sad, angry person. That's funny you say that, Voltaire, because you're not the first person that told me that John's been coming on, waiting for, I don't know this is true, but there's been more than one person that says John is purposely going on, waiting to see when you go on so he can come on and take your listeners. I don't know if that's true. I've heard that there's other people that have been coming on this section over here. And Valtteri, thank you very much for that, by the way. There we go. Jacob, Jerry strikes Shuli's channel for John. It's despicable. See, I don't know all these things. I'm just coming out here. I get guests that people that come on and like me, like Billy West. Billy West, he's a big fucking deal, and he came on my show, and I know for a fact he would never do John's show. And Mancow, I didn't want to tell John, but Mancow asked me. He asked me to reach out to Mancow, and Mancow and I have some really close mutual friends, and he was nice enough to come on my show, and. John, as soon as John saw that Mancow went on, he said, "Could you get him on my show?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" Because that's what kind of asshole I am. And I went and called Mancow, and he said, "Should I do a show?" And I actually said, "Yes, you should." As a fucking asshole friend that I am, like this is what a scumbag does. By the way, everybody, I just want you to really just understand what a scumbag I am. That I actually went against the grain and told Mancow that he should do John's show, and then Mancow got back to me and said, "I'm not doing that show because I'm getting a lot of negative people telling me negative things about it." So he goes, "Thanks for looking out for me, Steve, but it's not going to happen." So that's why he never called John back. I didn't tell John that, but I didn't want to because I'm a scumbag friend. I don't want to deliver news like that to John. So, I did his show every time he wanted me to. When he was in a pinch, he'd always call me. Yeah, I know. He likes to surround himself with people like that. I know, but he may not have been relevant for 30 years, but John asked me to get him on the show. And against my better judgment, I tried to help him out. And then Mancow did his own research and found out, what John's up to, and he doesn't want to do it. So, but Cindy, that person, whatever it is, him. The man-child is an awful person and phony, and I'm sure she would do the same thing to John, given the chance. She would do that to everybody. That just seems like that's what someone's life is like. That is that confused. I don't think I'm hot shit. Those people won't do John's show, and they'll do mine because they're my friends. So, but I'm just gonna cut it short. I'm not gonna say anything bad about John. It's just he was just waiting for this to happen, and now it happened. He just I don't know if some people I didn't really watch. I watched like a half a second. Some people said he was really drunk last night, and that Ava was just working him like a puppet and just like fueling his anger. So I hope he did. So I listen. Jerry didn't dox me or whatever. John swore up and down he was a good person, but he markets the dark web. I don't know, but it's I appreciate that, Chauncey. Many old stars. I know I know what they're trying to do. So yeah, no, I hear Stone. I figured at some point it was something like this was going to happen. So, what's this rubbish bin 66? If you don't cut ties with John now, you have no one to blame but yourself when he inevitably tries to destroy you. I'm trying to help you. Listen. I'm not going to be calling him anytime soon. Don't worry. I'm not going to, he can go on and have his life. I hope his surgery went well. And it's just the way he is, and that's that. It's unfortunate for everybody around. Like, it's unfortunate for me right now. This is on me. How is it on me? I don't know how it's on me. Why? Because I'm here. But it's funny because it's all these people are just like tuning in and they're telling me, Steve, look at these moments. Knowledge is power. Well, I'm learning as I go. I was tasked to do this show and monetize it, and that's what I'm doing. So I don't know any details. I'm not going to talk speculation. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I'm not going to say anything about anything because it's liable. Although the one picture John's using is a picture I took, and I was like, that's my picture. I took that picture of John where he's sitting at Howard's desk. That was the desk that was like hell for me because As soon as Howard got off the desk, no one was allowed to sit in that seat but Stuttering John. And he made you get up if they, he was like, he wouldn't do it in front of like Gary or fucking Howard or anybody else, but if no one else is in the room, he'd be like, get the fuck up out of the chair right now. And he did that for years. Yeah, thank you, Linden49. I'm not here to bore anybody, but I just wanted to come out and say I'm not hiding. I will be doing more shows. I'm not going to run or stop doing anything. I don't know what John thinks I did to him, but this is just par for the course. No, he has bullied me for about 30 years, and it's been just recently that he sort of like came to senses and has been nice to me, but I saw this coming, and that's that. No, it's not a show. I'm just addressing an issue. I have things to do. I'm a very important person. Don't you understand that? I trashed him. How did I trash him? Did I say something that was a lie, or did I say a truth that he didn't like? I can't answer that question, but other than that, Casey is very aloof. So Casey's very aloof, but he does get back to me every once in a while. I'd love to have him on. Yeah, Rick Armstrong. It's always somebody else's fault, or it's never like, oh man, what did you say that for? Or it's never the truth. It's always what it goes his way or it doesn't go his way. Elliot often, no, I don't know what happened to that thing, but Elliot often is well, you know, you said, I'm surprised that I didn't even think that was trashing, to be honest with you, Chauncey, but I don't remember if we said something that bad, or I just, you know, I just think I'm not even sure if this is 100% correct, but if the reason that whole thing with Shuli started, it seemed like Shuli just got tired of dealing with his bullshit and decided to stand up for himself, and kudos to Shuli about that, but I don't know how it started, but it got ugly really fast. I'm not that person, man. You'll never get that out of me. So I'm just rambling, just dealing with this issue. It was great talking to everybody. Thank you for the couple super tips, and the ones in the past. I'm getting a new TV. Thank you.